Welcome back to Willow Asteria Books. I'm Willow Asteria, and today I am joined with Genevieve James, the author of The Sanguine Queen, and she is going to be the first of the indie author interviews that I will be doing monthly on the channel. They will be posted the second Wednesday of every month, so make sure you hit the subscribe so you don't miss out on any more that we have coming up. I have a lot of fun people coming to join us here. Genevieve, why don't you go ahead and tell us about yourself, tell us about your book, and where we can find it.
Okay, well, I'm an author and I wrote this guy here. It's The Sanguine Queen. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, basically anywhere that books are sold, you can find this guy. It's a romantic fantasy, and it is kind of a subverted take on Little Red Riding Hood, and it is about a princess named Devon who she finds out years after the fact that her mother's death wasn't the tragic accident it was made out to be, and she decides to find out what happened and who did what, and she has to team up with her greatest enemy to do that.
And it is delicious. I absolutely devoured this book. It is amazing, and it will make you cry for sure.
So I like the trauma. I like to traumatize my characters.
You did traumatize them, and you did. So what are some of the main challenges that Devon faces throughout The Sanguine Queen?
Honestly, grief is a big thing in the book. She has to navigate the loss of her mother, and the loss of her old life before her mother passed away. She also has to figure out how to be a crown princess, because that was not something she really had to deal with before. Also, that she has to work with somebody who she thinks is a horrible person. And so that's tough for her.
I could definitely see where all of those things could be very, very difficult to go through, for sure.
Yeah.
What is one of the your favorite scenes that you have written?
Goodness, one of my favorite scenes, probably the scene where she first meets the wolf, is one of my favorites.
That scene. Yes.
So yeah, because she has not grown into herself yet. She's still a, little girl, essentially. She's not little, but she's naive. And he's just so cool. I love him so much.
He is. He's very aloof. If you think of all of like the characteristics that a wolf would have, he has them. And it is chef kiss amazing.
Yeah. I really enjoy him a lot.
Yes.
So that's probably way up there.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That's definitely.
Thanks.
So what made you want to write a book that was inspired by Little Red Riding Hood?
Honestly, I just thought it would be fun. Like, because now I'm seeing more, but before, like, on social media and within the book world, I wasn't seeing a ton of Little Red Riding Hood stuff. Like, I was seeing so many, like, Beauty and the Beast retellings and Cinderella retellings and, like, lots of fairy tale retellings, but I hadn't seen Red Riding Hood, and I was like, yeah, this would be fun. And then, I decided to subvert a lot of the bits of it.
Yeah, you definitely took it and twisted it on its head, for sure. It's a very unique interpretation of it, for sure.
yeah, I didn't like I set out to do a retelling, and then the more I went into it, I was like, this isn't a retelling. This is like the just, inverted. So,
But I think that's one of like the greatest parts of doing retellings is you can take key elements from the original story and really make them into your own.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I have read, I have the wolf, I have the huntsman, I have the grandma. Like they're all there. They're just not, who they were in the
Yeah.
original story.
Yeah, and how you've twisted them to fit into the Sanguine Queen is amazing.
Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome. So what was some of your big inspirations to becoming an author?
Um, Honestly, I just always liked to write. I always enjoyed it. Um, and I like telling stories.
Yeah.
So, you know, I what was it? It was for NaNoWriMo. I decided a couple years ago for NaNoWriMo, I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot, and here we are.
Here we are. Here we
Yeah.
are. NaNoWriMo is such a fun time because I feel like it encourages like a lot of people to actually
Mhm.
sit down and write the stories that they want to write.
Yeah. I actually a few days ago I went back and watched the first TikTok I made on my author account. And because it was talking about I had a cold and I sounded ridiculous, but I was like, I'm doing NaNoWriMo, guys.
Oh, that's
And
funny.
it was fun. It was fun to like see where I was, and now here I am.
Here you are. We're glad that you're here.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so circling back to you watching that first video, what is something that you wish that you could tell yourself back then that you know now?
To chill out. like I was so, you know, just like zero focus. Like
Yeah.
I was really, really focused on like the end goal, and I think I would have had an easier time if I had uh just relaxed a little more with it to
Yeah,
start with.
well, for sure. And you know that I think breaks are super important. If your body and your brain is telling you to rest, you need to rest. But sometimes, we ignore those signals and we just push forward otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really good at doing that.
I think a lot of us are.
But yeah, no, that would probably be the biggest thing I would tell myself. And also don't read your reviews.
Oh yeah, don't read your reviews. That's a good one. That's a good one too, for sure. That just ends up we get our own feelings hurt. They're not for
Yeah,
us. Well, they're not
they're
for
not
us.
they're absolutely not. Like I have no business looking at reviews because they're for other readers, they're not for myself.
Correct.
And like if I want feedback, I can ask for feedback. I don't need to read the reviews though.
Correct. Correct. So what is one thing that you want your readers to take away when they are finished reading The Sanguine Queen?
Um, that's a good question. I probably, that even amidst loss and grief and, heartbreak, that life goes on, you can move forward.
Yeah.
It's it's doable.
Yeah, and I think that is a very valuable lesson. There are a lot of people that don't experience loss or grief until they are much older, so they don't have a lot of good coping mechanisms. So I think that is a very, very good message to send forth.
Yep. Yeah. That was, one of the main aspects of what I set out to do with this, because when I decided to write this, I was less than a year out from losing my mother. I've dealt with a lot of death in my life. Um and I wanted it to be cathartic, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, as you read, or at least when I was reading it, as I was reading it, you definitely could see the growth that Devon had from when she first loses her mother to the end of the book. She's definitely started that journey. Does she end book one 100% healed? No, that's why there's a book two. Um,
Nope. And is she going to be healed within book two? I don't know. I don't know. She's got a rocky road.
she's got a rocky road. Well, you know what? They say that, grief is definitely a rocky road. You sometimes make many circles around things before you move forward.
Yeah, she'll be fine. In the end, she'll be fine.
Okay, we love a happy ending. So the last question that I have, and I like to do fun questions for the last questions because they're fun, they're silly, and it kind of makes you think outside the box for a little bit. So if your characters, so you write fantasy, so if your characters were magically transported into the real world with no way to get back, what would they do?
If they were reverse isekai'd into this world,
Yeah.
um, I feel like Devin would be like one of those homesteaders. She'd be like off the grid. She'd be obsessed with chickens. Like she would just go back to her quiet little life and be perfectly
I
happy.
could literally see her in like a cute little, like a plaid dress with a little apron where she's going through and she has like an herb garden, or maybe she's like foraging in like the woods or something. I can see that for her.
Living her best cottagecore life.
Yes.
That would be Devin for
I
sure.
I'm jealous
For
of
sure.
I'm jealous of her.
Yeah, I think I wrote Devin to like live the life that I wanted. I want to live my best cottagecore life, but it's not as easy to do in the real world.
Mhm.
But I think like Lothar, I think he'd be like a police officer of
Yeah.
some kind, like in a very small town. Like he doesn't want any big time anything. He's just gonna be like living in the town where there's one cop and it's him.
It's him.
Um,
Yeah. And the like his whole purpose is to like go to the state fair to be like hand out magnets.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or if the raccoons are giving you grief, you're gonna call Sheriff Lothar, and he'll take care of it.
Snake in my bathroom. I need you to come get it. And then he comes and he's like, it's this big. What is wrong with
It's like seriously.
you?
But who else? Who else? Who else?
Emmerich.
I mean, the wolf would probably be like, honestly, he'd probably be leading some like backwoods militia.
Yeah.
He'd be that kind of guy, and that's just how he'd be. Um, who else? Nara would be a doctor. She would go to medical school and just be a doctor.
I think grandma would do. What would grandma be up to?
Grandma, she honestly, she'd probably like run for mayor somewhere,
In the
and
small
or like
town. In that,
city council.
it would be like Once Upon a Time. She would be like,
She'd be Regina.
yeah, she'd be
She would be
Regina
that type.
before Regina got better.
Yeah, she would do some. She would need some position of power, even if it's that the position is like, ugh, you roll your eyes at
Yeah.
big fish in a small pond type of deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
that
love
would be grandma.
those are good answers. Those are very good answers.
Thank you, thank you. I did have to think about it. I had to put effort into it and be like, who would these people be if they were like IRL?
Yeah, and I think that helps too, while we're writing and we're creating these characters to really take them outside of the box that we've put them in, because it lets us see into their character in a way that we wouldn't explore within the story.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It definitely like made me, consider things about them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I want to thank you so much for coming on for today. I had a blast. I hope you also had a blast, and I hope everyone watching is excited to dive into the Sanguine Queen. Can you remind everybody where they are able to find it?
So you can get the Sanguine Queen on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple, Google Play books, anywhere books are sold. You can find the Sanguine Queen under Genevieve L. James.
Genevieve L. James. Alrighty, guys. I will see you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. for the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.